But it's such an honor and a privilege to be here today, and I'm very humbled that you've asked me, the class of 2017, to come here and speak with you today. And my daughter graduated last year from Eagle Hill, and it was an amazing school for her. And last week, she was talking with her friends about, I can't wait to go to graduation and go back to school. And I thought, wow, how many people talk about going back to their high school to another graduation? I mean, it just speaks such incredible things about Eagle Hill that they're all back there, all their friends, and they're so excited to be here today. And so I just want to say that also being in this room with all these incredible minds, and I get you guys, I get it. I grew up with ADD, I had ADHD, but when I had it, they didn't know what to do with me in school. And I was unfortunate, I wasn't able to go to a school like this. And I wish I could have, so I can kind of live vicariously through my daughter and everyone else. But I'm so excited to be here, so now I feel like I am getting to go to this school by seeing what my daughter has got to achieve. So this is, it's an amazing, they understand here how we think. How you think, how I think. The teachers have amazing minds still to teach with us. When I was in school, they didn't know what to do with me. They gave me Benadryl and said, hey, maybe this will work. We'll just get him to flop down on his desk, and that should do, because his kid's thoughts are going 50 miles an hour in this direction. So really, I became, I'll tell you this story, I became a serial entrepreneur, but it'd probably be, it will look like, if you read it, it was an ADD serial entrepreneur. So I always, when I was a kid, I dreamed of being a fighter pilot, and somehow ended up in all these different businesses. But I was always very curious. When I was growing up in my house, I would take apart, all my mothers had these antique clocks, and I would take them apart. Sometimes I'd put them back together, sometimes I wouldn't. But I wanted to know how everything worked. So I drove my parents crazy. I drove my mom nuts, and I just struggled in school. School was very difficult for me. I couldn't understand why everybody could, finish the tests so quickly and this and that. And so I really had a hard time with it, and I barely made it through high school, struggling my way through because the teachers didn't understand me, and they didn't understand how to teach me. And I really think when you have a learning difference, you really have a superpower, and you have this superpower. And what Eagle Hill is amazing at is finding that superpower, finding what your superpower is, and encouraging it and bringing it out in you. And you all have this. You all have some incredible superpower, and we all have strengths and weaknesses. And you have to know what those are, know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So I'll give you a little bit of my entrepreneurial path. So I had a hard time in school. But I always knew, wow, I'm going to have to really make it on my own, because I don't know if anybody's going to ever hire me with these grades, or if I'm going to get into any college. So I kind of snuck into URI by saying I was a resident and all this stuff, and I got in, and I was there for a year, and then I decided, well, I really got to start a business. So, but backing up a little bit, as a kid, I used to go to the dump and get old lawnmowers and build go-karts, and I would sell them to my friends. And then I would go in the woods and pick Princess Pine and make Christmas wreaths, and I would sell them to real estate companies. And then in high school, I started an auto cleaning company, an auto detail company. I didn't own the building, but I rented all the space and the equipment. I started with cleaning cars at a ladies' beauty salon for $10. And then I eventually ended up having a building, and I cleaned all the car dealerships' cars, and I had 8 guys working for me in high school, and I was going to school, and I was always late for homeroom and getting in trouble, and then running a business too. And then sold that business and went, when I graduated, and I bought my own house in Rhode Island, and that's how I got in as a resident to URI, and it's probably the only way they would let me in. And bought a new car and spent all the money, and then decided, wow, I need some money again, so I started bartending. And so I bartended in Newport at the Clark Cookhouse, learned a lot about people. And if you can understand people, how people work, and bartending was a great way to learn a lot about people, how they think, how they work, what are they doing. And these guys were all coming in, they were buying lots of champagne, and I said, what kind of business are you guys in? And they said, oh, we're in the fashion jewelry business. And I thought, oh, there goes my fighter pilot, want to be a fighter pilot. So I drew on a napkin a little gold guardian angel pin, because it was 1989, Desert Storm War, the economy was bad, things weren't going well at all. So I thought, let me come up with something that will give people hope and make people feel good, and then I can sell these and also give back to charities and things like this, and it might be a feel-good, people will wear this little angel pin. So I had saved up $1,200 bartending. I went to a model maker and showed him the little drawing of the angel pin, and he said, well, that will cost $600 to make a model of this little pin for you. And I thought, oh wow, that's half the money I have. So then I went to a casting manufacturer in Providence, Rhode Island, was the jewelry capital of the world for fashion jewelry at the time. So I went to a big factory and said, can you make this for me? And he said, well, I said, I have $600. Can you make this $600? He said, I can't make this $600. I said, well, if this works, I'll always buy these from you. Then I made a list from the yellow pages of 300 stores. And I went store to store, trying to sell this little angel pin, and my mom had a friend who owned a print shop and put it on a card and said, a guardian angel will watch over you. Went store to store, went to 200 stores, everybody said, no, get out of here, yeah, they're not interested, what the heck is that? So finally, the 201st store, I kept crossing them off the list, and I still have this list in my office. The 201st store I went to, bought a dozen angel pins for $22.80. Make a long story short, we were in every Hallmark store in the country, we were in 7,000 Hallmark stores, and we did $30 million in business. So that was that business. And then, from there, I ended up starting another business, which was in, sold that business, started a business, and didn't quite sell it. That's the short story, but my mother and sister got involved in the business, and we grew up with no money. We made a lot of money. Everybody started fighting over money and just said, hey, you know what? Money's not worth it, and sometimes it's not. Said, you guys can have this, because my grandfather called me on the phone crying and said, why is everybody fighting? And I said, you know what? If everybody's fighting over money. And I said, you guys can have this money, and I owned all the factories, and the guy who made the $600 worth of pins for me, we bought his factory, and today I see him, he buys me a bottle of champagne. So anyway, what happened was people, started fighting over money. My grandfather was 90-something years old, said, this is really, you guys have all the money in the world, why is everybody fighting? And I said, you're right. So I said to my mother and sister, you guys can have the money, I don't need it. Left. Everything was paid for. We didn't owe anybody any money. The company was worth tens of millions of dollars. Said, you guys can have it, I'll start over again. So my wife and I got married. My mom didn't come to my wedding, so I'm going to tell you, it's not all, things are mac and cheese sometimes too, it's not all filet mignon. So we went back to, grew up poor, made a ton of money, and then gave it all away. And said, you know what, if I can do it, I can do it again. So, my wife and I got married, where my mother and sister married up, didn't come to the wedding and the whole thing, and started over again with a coffee can full of quarters. Built another company that started fashion trends like the Italian charm bracelet, the power bracelets, all these different fashion jewelry trends. Built it into tens of millions of dollar business. And then sold it to a venture capital firm, a company, bought the company, and bought 50% of the company. And I thought, wow, this is great. And I signed a deal, and they said, here's a big baseball player check. We own everything, half of everything you think of for the next 10 years. And I thought, wow, that's a big check. And I did that deal. And then I realized, wow, 10 years is a long time. So 5 years into it, it was a lot of financial manipulation and destruction, where we would buy companies and they would say, have these interests. I won't get into it all, but it wasn't building companies. So I said, I want to leave, I want to get out of this, and I want to buy my company back. And they said, no, you can't leave, you have to work for us for 5 more years. So again, had to give up everything to buy my soul back, to buy my 5 years of contract back. So my wife and I went back to macaroni and cheese, and we bought the company back, and she said, wow, you really want to do this? And I said, this isn't me of this, buying tax carry forward losses and ruining people's lives of this financial kind of, so I like building, I'm a builder. I like building brands, building companies. So we sold bought the company back, had to pay more for my contract, buy it back, and then started over again. and then went to QVC and I said, you know, there's a different way to do business than selling to, you know, gift stores and on the street. I said, everything I think is going to .com and television. Sorry there. So then I went and I sat in QVC's lobby because I remembered, well, when I started, I had to go to 200 stores before I could get one to buy. So I sat in QVC's lobby for 3 days, and they kept saying, what are you doing here? I said, I got to meet with somebody to buy, you know, a jewelry product. They wouldn't meet with me, wouldn't meet. 3 days later, someone said, you know, will you meet with the guy in the lobby? You know? So they met with me, and at this point, don't forget, we had no money. We just bought back the company and everything. So the buyer met with me and said, okay, we'll try this this product, you know, from you. I want to tell you what to make. So I said, okay. So she told us this Italian charm bracelet to make. My wife and I spent days putting it together ourselves and everything, shipped it in, and all my friends in the jewelry business said, don't sell to QVC, they'll kill you, you know? They're so big, they'll kill you. Anyway, they shipped it all in, never aired. I went back in and said, you guys got to give me another shot. You know, didn't give up. So they never sold the product, never put it on there. And so I said, well, you have to let me make it up. So I made up a bracelet called a prayer box bracelet. Because I thought, man, on a wing and a prayer, we got to make it and figure this out. So I studied QVC, watched it every day, learned it, thought about the people and psychology, and you think about bartending, meeting people and learning, okay? And I learned that business, and I became a student of it. And then created this bracelet, went on TV, we sold millions and millions of these bracelets, and it became the best-selling bracelet ever on television. And then became a board member on QVC, today on their board still, and really learned that business inside and out, and have been creating, inventing, working on products for them for the past 15 years. So today own a tool company called Easy Tools, and we make all the hand tools for QVC. We own a jewelry company that makes all the fashion jewelry. We make jewelry for celebrities. We have our own brand of jewelry. And then I wanted to start an electronics company. And this is where all the ADD comes in, electronics company, tool company, and we own an aviation company because I wanted to be a jet fighter pilot, and then we became one, so I thought I'll start an aviation company. So we started an aviation company, flying executive charter, and then we opened a flight school. And so these are all different businesses that we had, and the electronics company, QVC, said to me, are you crazy? You can't open an electronics company. There's Sony and there's Samsung. So I said, well, I have 4 daughters, and there's a need for portable power, right? These kids love their phones, adults love their phones, and they're addicted to it. And I said, there's also, our lives are becoming so mobile, and the utility companies, for electric companies today, were running on wires, and you had to be tethered to a wall. And I said, I think there's a need for us not to be tethered to a wall anymore. And so the idea was, can we have power in our pockets, you know, that we can power these mobile devices? And they said, okay, we'll give you a shot at it. And I said, but I want to make this electronics in pink leopard. And they said, what? You can't make this in pink leopard. Nobody does. Electronics are black or white, or silver. Black or silver, that was it. And they said, well, okay, if you want to get crazy, Apple's doing some computer in white. You know, and so that's crazy. And if you want to do that, you could do this in white. So I said, okay. So we did this, developed a patent for portable power. And my neighbor and best friend lived next door to me, and he was an electrical engineer and one of the first guys at EMC. And I went to him and I said, I have this idea. I want to make this portable power that can fit in your pocket and charge a phone. You know, and so he said he'd help me with it. So he's my business partner in our electronics company today, and he's an amazing smart guy and an amazing business partner. You have to have good partners in life and in business, and you know, find the right people to be partners with. So anyway, we went on TV with this product in white, and it bombed. It failed. No one understood it. No one ever saw anything. Why would I need this for my phone? I can plug it into the wall. So it didn't work, and so I said to QVC, I said, you've got to give me another chance, and usually they're one and done. So again, you know, sometimes you'll face failures, and you have to just go at it again. So this failure, I went back and fought for it to go on again and said, you gotta let me put it on in pink leopard. And they said, why? And I said, because she'll see it and say, wow, that's so pretty, I gotta have it. And so it was more about women are busy, they have kids, they're working, they have jobs, they don't have time, and they don't have time to watch listen to me about a tech thing either, you know, like, we don't want to listen to that. But they do like fashion and they like beautiful things, right? So sometimes in a business plan, we have to figure that out. So we went on air with it in pink leopard, and we sold 60,000 pieces in 2 minutes. So then, I went to the CEO of QVC and I said, what's the most you've ever sold of anything in the history of your company? And he said, well, we sold 200,000 pieces of an answering machine 26 years ago when it first came out. And I said, well, I would like an order for 300,000 pieces, okay? And he said, well, wow, that's like 18 tractor truck trailer loads of product. And I said, yes. And he said, well, that's pretty crazy. And he said, I'll tell you what, if you take the risk on half of it, if it doesn't work, half of it goes back to you. And if it does, you know, we'll take the risk on the other half. So again, this is a mac and cheese moment. You know, where I said to my business partner, are you ready to go on this journey? Because you could lose your house and everything you got. So he said, all right, let's do it. So we shipped in 380,000 units of product because they allow for a 5% variance. So I wanted to take the 5% and put that in there too. So we shipped this in. We went on TV and we did something that QVC has never done in the history of their company. We shut down their call servers, we crashed their computers, we sold $22 million in 4 hours. We went back and we said we want to beat our own record and do it again. So we sold 800,000 units the next year in 5 hours a day. So Halo became the #1 brand in portable power in the world. And today we sell Halo all over the world, and we sell it in 18 countries. We have last year we had 12 million new customers for our brand. And we keep growing the business, and we've had lots of offers to buy it, but we haven't sold it because we love it. We love what we're doing. We love what we do. We enjoy it every day when we go in. And it's I'm going to go off subject for a second here. That what I saw a little while ago this morning, and as parents you don't get to see this, and when my daughter graduated last year I didn't see this, but over there's a bell. And when you come to Eagle Hill, you ring the bell. And I'm thinking, wow, that's so interesting. It's like an eagle's born when you ring the bell. And when you graduate, you ring the bell when you graduate. And I thought, this is such a cool symbol. It's like, wow, when every time a bell rings, an eagle gets its wings. You know? It's kind of that was a behind-the-scenes thing I got to see over there, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing, and I'm really so proud of you guys. And I don't know if I'm out of time or if I have time. 2 minutes, okay. So to summarize, how do you do that? How do you do all that stuff? And I kind of go through a list of things that I followed to get it. And they're in order of importance. How do you achieve these things? How do you do this in your life? And the order of importance is be a positive person. Have a positive attitude. Every day, be positive. Don't look at things in a negative way. Something we don't think of enough is our health. And notice it's at the top of the list. Like, they have a gorgeous gym here. Why do they have a gorgeous gym here? Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So you're young and you guys have this whole life. Lead a healthy life, because if you don't have that, you can't do any of these other things. You also need harmony in human relations, right? And harmony it's easy to say it, right? But have harmony with your family, have harmony with your friends, have harmony in your workplace. Like really, you have seconds in life. The planet's billions and billions and billions of years old. Don't waste your life seconds in not having harmony with people, friends, family, work. It really goes a long way. And the other one, this is the fourth thing on the list that I follow, is have a freedom from fear. Everybody has certain fears, and they can really be detrimental in your life. So somehow find a way, to have freedom from the things that bother you or that you're afraid of or that you fear. And I'm a dreamer, and just, be a dreamer and keep dreaming is next on my list. Is if you want to achieve these things, you have to dream of it and the future, achievement of it, and you have to have a plan to achieve your dreams, and I know like dreamers are like, a plan? I'd rather just have a dream. So and that's the thing that's the work part. And have the capacity to believe in your dreams. So believe in them and know you can achieve them. And you guys can achieve anything you want. And you've gone to the school that's really taught you how smart you are and taught you your abilities, and use it. And then share with others. We've given millions and millions of dollars to charity and giving back. And let me tell you, it really comes back to you in so many ways. And so share with others might be your people that work for your company one day, or people that are around you, or giving it becomes better than getting and receiving. And then do something you love doing. So every day you get up, you're like, I love what I'm doing. And it's not like the work part or the planning part. Okay, I don't love that part, but I love what I do. And then, keep an open mind to subjects of all people and others. And that open mind is, if we look back in time, and people, had different things of races or religions or color. Now we look at that and say, why? Why did they do that? So even today, if we have closed mind to different people or different things, why have that? Like, really keep an open mind to people. And then the other is, commit to self-discipline. Commit to self-discipline are these things that you don't want to do, but they help you to get to your dream that you have to do. And they're disciplines. Like sometimes I have to get up at 4 in the morning to go do an errand at QVC for 4 minutes or something like that I don't want to do, but it's a discipline that you have to implement in your life. And then have the wisdom which to understand people, which is very important. And last on the list is money, right? If you all, entrepreneurs always want to make a lot of money, but if you achieve all of the above, the money will come. It's not, the money is the least important thing on the list. The money happens if all of the other things in your life are aligned. So, congratulations, class of 2017.